What is going on, guys? It is Lely Sexy, and this is episode 6 of Building the Dream Team. We start off this episode with a league match at Upton Park against West Ham, and we go into the first piece of action as Konami mistaken Mark Noble for David Beckham as he smashes in this free kick after 5 minutes. That's something Konami need to sort out. Just because I'm playing on the hardest difficulty setting doesn't mean that every free kick taker becomes David Beckham. So now here I'm trying to pass my way into their box, but they're sitting so deep and I was getting a bit frustrated here. So when I picked the ball up here with Guthrie, I thought, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to have a go on goal. And luckily for me it paid off and I get myself back into the game. Now it was a bit of a boring first half, and when this happened I thought, this is just not going to be my game, is it? There's no one in the box, he crosses it and then my player chests it down into the path of Matthew Taylor perfectly. But luckily for me he ends up hitting it wide, and that ends pretty much a boring first half. You can see I had most of the ball, I was just trying to work my way into the box. So here I thought, you know what, I'm just going to put a lot more crosses into the box. And in the start of the second half, that's what I do. It falls kindly for Robson Carnu. He gets a bit beaten up and raped here before he gets his effort on goal. I was expecting some sort of foul to be given against me, but it never happened. But anyway, he gets a good effort on goal here. And then Joko plays in Chamak, who's surprisingly quick in this game, but he has a decent effort on goal, and then the keeper's up to the task of saving it. So then here I start to grow in confidence as I get the ball to Robson Carnu, who cuts back onto his left foot and then looks for the far corner and forces a great save out the goalkeeper. Now here, as I said, I was starting to grow in confidence, so you can see 64 minutes I'm starting to get a lot more efforts on on goal. And then here I got a bit too confident trying to play my way out the back. I give the ball away to Mark Noble, who gives it to Joe Cole, clips one in the box for Chamak, who powers it in like a beast, like Drogba. If he could actually do that, then he'd still be at Arsenal, but you know, Konami need to sort them stats out because players like that don't perform like that. Then Lefondre cuts into the box and curls it around the defender and beats the keeper on his near post. Then just imagine my range of emotions as this happened here. I was like, oh no, not like this, not like this. Then I was like, oh thank fuck for that. And then the defender came, I was like, oh you dumb bastard, what are you playing at? But luckily for me, Chamak from Arsenal turned up and he ends up hitting it wide. That's why he's at West Ham and not Arsenal. So now here I'm waiting for some support with Jimmy Kebe, finally Lefondre, and then I take a great first time effort, and unlucky for him as he sends that effort crashing off the bar. I can't help but feel it was 2 points dropped rather than 1 point gained. Now a look at the results, and Everton won their match, Manchester City beat Liverpool, Manchester United beat Tottenham, Arsenal drew with Newcastle, and Chelsea won their match. So now a quick look at the table, and to be honest I'm just happy with being in touching distance of 4th. The longer I'm there, the more I actually believe I can get 4th at the end of the season. So now we're going to the second match of this episode, and when I saw this fixture I was like, this has just become a must not lose match. I didn't care about winning, well I wanted to win, but I just knew I couldn't afford to lose. And to be honest, it felt like Konami have got Fernando Torres' player ID on this like spot on, and I don't mean the animations, just watch this. Now here, I'm sure this is a shot from Fernando Torres, but it finds its way to Hazard, and Hazard hits it wide. Hazard's a brilliant player, I actually expected him to score there, and he shows a bit of that here as he nicks the ball from Gunter, goes on a nice little run here, and he ends up popping it off to Mikel, who gives the ball back to him, and then he gets one-on-one with the keeper, and what a brilliant save that was. Then he doesn't get the rebound, he looks for Torres, and then Torres, just being Torres, blocks a brilliant shot from Oscar, which I'm sure was going in, and then thanks to Fernando Torres it stays 0-0. Now it took me 30 minutes to play a nice little bit of football here as I get my first effort on goal, my only real effort on target, and it's a pretty tame one, and that was really all I had for the first half. Now right towards the end of the first half, Azpilicueta wins the ball with a brilliant slide challenge and sets off Chelsea to a tempo as kind of thrown throughout the whole of the first half. They just step on the gas and actually just go on another level. They start playing some wonderful football here as Oscar sprays the ball out wide to Ashley Cole. Ashley Cole brings it down and rises the challenge from Kebe. He runs down the line with the ball and then plays it to Hazard. Hazard takes one touch and drills it into the box. My keeper makes a mess of it and Mata taps into a half empty net and gives Chelsea the lead they deserve. So now I'm thinking I need to strike back and I need to actually change my approach. I need to be a lot more aggressive, and that's what I start to do as I win the ball with Nuhai. But then Oscar cuts out this pass and becomes really casual, and when I say he becomes casual, he just walks with the ball and he only actually starts to sprint when my player comes close, but then by then it's too late for him. So Kebe puts the ball into the box and Pogrebnyak with a brilliant header makes it 1-1. Now sensing that the momentum was with me, I thought if I'm going to get a winner I'm going to get it now, and that's what I tried to do on the break as I get the ball with Eduardo Murillo, who plays it out wide to Jimmy Kebe, who's got plenty of space to run into. I thought I'm not going to put the ball in the air again because getting 2 headers in one game is almost impossible, so I drill it across the floor, but Lefondre couldn't sort his feet out as he puts it straight into the grateful arms of the goalkeeper. Now Torres wins the ball to Mikel. Mikel plays it to Mata, who does a nice little dance to get past Makinov, lets Schroeder run past him, gives it to Oscar, who has a great effort on goal, and then the keeper can only parry it to Torres. But like I said to you, Konami have captured his player ID perfectly because he can just not get a goal in this game. It's like a simple rule can easily stop Torres from scoring, like the offside rule or the rule where the goalkeepers are just allowed to use their hands. Simple rules make goals really hard for Torres. Now when this happened here, I was so enraged I should have just paused it and walked away for a bit, because after this moment it was a clear penalty. But when that happened, I just did not play with a clear head, and nothing really like productive came of me. So that led to this happening. The game just flew by past me, had nothing fall my way, and then Mata gets the ball right towards the end of the match. But luckily for me, my keeper makes a brilliant save. I just shook my pad so hard that I was like, thank fuck that my keeper made that save there. I get a point that I'm probably not deserved of, but I'll take it anyway. I'm just happy that I'm still within 3 points of Chelsea. And you can see Liverpool and Arsenal have both lost their matches, so that ends up being a good point for me. So we have a quick look at the league table, as that point takes me up 2 places. Liverpool have dropped a few places as Everton have now leapfrogged them. So I'll have to keep an eye on Everton's results, and it's looking nice and tight at the top. So we're going to the third match of this episode, as I've played Swansea, and this was such a boring first half. I'm not exaggerating, this is how bad it is. Just watch these two kind of highlights of the first half. It was partly to do with the confidence being knocked out of me from the 2 previous draws. So I was in a bit of a rut here, and look at this. If this is in the highlight reel, then you know it was a good pass, don't get me wrong, but you know how bad the first half must have been for me to actually have to show that as part of the highlight reel. So I was in a bit of a rut, and I knew I needed some sort of luck or just a moment of magic to get me back in the game. So now I get the ball to Guthrie, who tries looking for Pogrebniak, but Cheek is a bit casual on the ball, and Pogrebniak nicks the ball off him and makes full use of it. Now I thought I'd go for another goal rather than sit back on this lead, because we all know one odd moment can put Swansea back on level terms. So that's what I tried to do here, as I get the ball with Eduardo Murillo, who's got no support. He's all alone up front, goes and tries to make the best out of the situation he is in, and he forces a good save from the keeper. This time he gives the ball away, and it ends up going to Chester, who ends up playing the ball through to Michu. Gets a bit of luck as he gets past Nuhai. There's a good effort on goal, but it only falls to Chester, who somehow manages to header it wide. So that was a chance they were going to actually rue very, very quickly, as I get the ball to Eduardo Murillo, who plays it to Robson Kanu. There's a good effort on goal, but it gets blocked. But then I get the ball back to him, and this time there's no saving the goalkeeper, as he has an even sweeter strike into the far corner, and he deserves to run like a madman like that, because that's such a wonderful goal, and it doubles my lead. Now here Michu coasts past Nuhai like he wasn't even there, typical Michu fashion, and goes for the nice cool finish, pure like Michu, but good save from the goalkeeper. Now here I was just trying to slow down the game and just basically play at my own tempo and not be exposed to their counter attack. But I put a great cross into the box, and a brilliant volley from Hunt makes it 3-0, and all 3 points are mine. Now Swansea didn't actually want to give up that easily, so they carried on playing on with a bit of heart, as Pablo Hernandez picks up the ball from the edge of the box, drives in and forces a very good save from the keeper, and then they carried on pushing for another goal, and that's what they actually get here. But the thing that makes me laugh so much isn't to do with the gameplay, it's what happens when he scores. Hopefully this will not happen in PES 2014. It's like one of the most arrogant celebrations you can do, and you'll do that when you're like plain sailing. This is totally not the case for him in this match. Hopefully in PES 2014 that sort of celebration doesn't happen at that time, because the AI of the crowd should feed back to the player saying something like that isn't an important goal, so just jog on back to the middle of the pitch. So basically we have a look at the results now, and you can see all the teams around me won apart from Everton and Fulham. So in terms of the league, that shouldn't really change too much. Everyone should stay where they are, and that's exactly what happens, apart from Liverpool swap places with Everton again. So that's the end of this episode, guys. But we have a quick look into the next episode, and you can see that I am playing Manchester United, Stoke and Sunderland. Now before I go, I just want to let you guys know that I'm looking to upload on a more regular basis, especially with this series getting a bit more interesting, probably every 2 to 3 days. And by the time PES 2014 comes out, I'm looking to upload on a daily basis or every other day. So hopefully you guys did find this video entertaining. If you did, remember to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, remember to subscribe, and thanks for watching, guys.